Ladies and gentlemen, the Filipino-American Society Choir under the direction of Carmen Mimi Pelaire and accompanied on the piano by Micaela Credo.
God Here's a preview of my upcoming school called Balay School. The first course you're going to see is Sulat School. Before we get started with the characters, first things first, we need to talk about regionalism. Recently, Baybayin was used to renovate a Manila underpass, and predictably, there are many comments around how they're Tagalistas propagating a so-called pre-colonial culture by erasing a Hispanic culture, Tagalog imperialism, etc., etc. While some of these arguments may be valid, I think we need to get to the root cause of it. Why? Why do people feel this way? First of all, it's human nature. We tend to defend our own. There are language barriers. We haven't really addressed the Filipino language issue from decades ago. There's, of course, the divide and conquer tactic of colonialism. There's also geographic considerations, with Manila being the socioeconomic center of the Philippines. There's also the American education system that caused us to think a different way. In 2011, there was a proposed Baybayin law. A lot of the arguments were because of a misunderstanding of charts. You may have seen charts like this on Google that supposedly separate the writing systems of each region. You'll see on the left Bulacan, Visaya, Pampanga, Pangasinan, Ilocos, etc. But how were the handwriting samples taken? Do we know if they actually tried to scratch them? And when I say they, I mean the friars, the authors that wrote these books. How did they get the samples? Was there a control group? Was there consistent research? Was there a consistent way to gather these samples? Did they use a quill or some pen? Did the friars trace it? Did they give a pencil to a native? Certainly that would cause a different way to write if the object you're using is foreign to you. Baybayin literally means to spell. There are other words that you may have seen to describe so-called different writing systems in the Philippines, such as surat, sulat, suyat, suat. Those all mean to write. And there are other words as well, as padlit, korlit, kurit, guhit, titik, and those all mean a mark, a line, to trace. So all of these are actions to write, to spell, to communicate. In European languages, you have many different ways to say write, but they're not different writing systems. They use the Roman alphabet. But it can also pertain to other writing systems as well. It's an action, not a system. These are chairs. You can call them different things in different languages. Stool, chaise, celia, but they all function a certain way. What you're looking at is the Roman alphabet in different styles. They're not separate writing systems. If I write the Roman alphabet in San Francisco, is that the San Francisco writing system versus somebody writing the Roman alphabet in New York? Is that the New York writing system? It's not. It's the same thing, different styles. Philippine scripts mirror a perceived social hierarchy. And at the top, you will see prevalence of so-called baybayin, maybe surat mangyan, kulitan, kuritan, badlit. And the anger comes from this, where it is a hierarchy of ethno-linguistic groups. And of course, because of the Tagalog nature of the country, Tagalogs are perceived to be at the top, followed by the others. even though they outnumber the Tagalogs. So the anger is valid. We are not a monolith. This chart went viral about a year ago, and you'll see that, it's very well done, very polished. And at the top part, you'll see that you have Kulitan from Pampanga, Cordita from the Ilocos area, then of course Baybayin. Bicol, you have Basahan, then Badlit in the Visayas, Tagbanwa, Palawan, Buhid, Hanunuo in Mindoro. At the bottom, you have Jawi and Kirim. So here is what these terms actually mean and what they relate to. Kulitan means to mark, Cordita means to mark, Baybayin means to spell, Basahan means to read, Badlit is a mark, Tagbanwa is an ethnic group, Buhid an ethnic group, Hanunuo an ethnic group, and Jawi and Kirim, those are Arabic writing systems. So those two at the bottom, they are different writing systems. The ones at the top, they all are the same system. The names are just different ways in their respective languages to describe either the group or the action that is going on. So it's not about the writing. Here are some solutions to address these issues. Baybayin is dead, long live Baybayin. For the longest time, over 10 years ago, myself and my colleagues, we tried to change the conversation from Alibata because it's an incorrect term that has real life effects. And if you start off with an incorrect foundation, then you have an incorrect attitude and incorrect perspective of our culture. The more proper term is Baybayin. But I think that now that we have a better understanding of our culture and our scripts, that it is time to move into another name. What is that name? I don't know yet, but it is up to us as a community to discuss. We need a new generic term. We need standards based on a handwriting registry. So here are some ways that the A character is written. Using machine learning, you can take 10,000 handwriting samples and combine them together and come up with a uniform stroke technique that can be used as a national standard. And we also have to address the language issue. Having Filipino as a national language has a lot of downfall for the other groups in the Philippines. We also need to address the socioeconomic disparity in the Philippines. We need to move the center of the Philippines away from Manila. We need to create a flourishing economy in other parts of the country. The basic characters. There are 3 vowels, and they are pronounced like this: A, E, or I, O, or U. And you'll notice that the E and the I and the O and U, they both share the same characters. And so the characters can be pronounced differently: E or I, O or U. There are 14 consonants. You'll notice that each character already has an inherent A sound attached to it. So it's not just B, it's Ba. Ba. Da. Ka. Ha. Ka. La. Ma. Na. Nga. Pa. Sa. Ta. Wa. Ya. In this exercise, let's use the same rules but apply it to the Roman alphabet, where each character has an A sound attached to it. So it reads like this: Ba, Ka, Wa, La, Ka, Ma, Ga, Wa. Ba, Ra, Ma, Sa, Ya, Ka. Da, Wa, ka. Ha, ha, ha. Da, wa, pa. Ha, ha, ha. Da, ma, na. Ba, ra, ga, na, da, nga. And basically what you read was this. I'll translate. Ba ka wa la ka magawa. That translates to, maybe you have nothing to do. Para masaya ka. It's like you're happy. Tawa ka. Ha ha ha. Tawa pa. Tawa ka means laugh. Tawa pa means laugh more. The next line is ha ha ha. Tama na means to stop. Para ka na da nga. That means it's like you're dumb. So with each character having an inherent a sound attached to it, you can change the vowel sound from an a to an e or e or o or u using what we call a kudlit. Kudlit means a mark. If the mark is at the top of the character, it's either a e sound or an e sound. So right here at the top of the ba character, it's be or b. At the bottom, it's bo or bu. Virama. Virama is an Indian word and it means to pause. We use it to cancel the a sound. Here are some examples of how viramas are written. So you have the three characters of ba. The first one is a cross, second one is an X, and the third is a pamudpud that is found in Mindoro. But they all cancel the vowel. They serve the same purpose. There are other sounds in our modern languages. Here's how to write them. For C, you would have to figure out first how it is pronounced. The C in this example, Chris, is a k sound, so you'd write the letter ka to represent the C in Chris. But in this sample, Cecil, the C sound is an S sound, so it's a sa, Cecil. You wouldn't write ka because it would become kekil. For this Z sound, you would use the sa. The R sound, you would use the da, because in Philippine languages, you'll see that the D and the R is interchangeable, like ako din, ako rin, madami, marami. For the J sound, depending on how it's pronounced, it can be dia, dia, diolibi, diolibi, Dios. Or if the J sound is a ha, you would use the ha sound. Like if you pronounce Jesus as Jesus, you would use ha, not the dia. The Q sound can be used with the ka sound, like in quail. The most obvious one is the pa sound. You can use it for F. There are a couple ways to write. The traditional way and the modern way. On the left side, you'll see the word lakas, meaning strength, but it is only spelled with the syllables la and ka. And on the right side is a modern way, where you have the S. You have la, ka, and then you have the sa character. And you'll notice at the bottom of the sa character that there is the virama, and that cancels the vowel, so that you have lakas. This is just a sample of my upcoming Sulat school. In the full course, there will be in-depth lessons on how to write, spell, and read. You'll also learn about the practice itself. You'll learn about the history, the present, and the future. I'll also go deep into fonts, translators, and apps. If you want to get notified when the full course is launched, enter your email at balayschool.org. You can also connect with me on social media below. Salamat.
Hi, my name is Agnes Navarro. I'm the Executive Director of the Filipino Community of Seattle. The Filipino Community of Seattle is an 85-year-old nonprofit organization which has stood the test of times. Over the years, the organization has developed several successful programs for all ages. Currently, like most organizations, we are faced with the coronavirus pandemic. More than ever, we must step up to help our community and its members. As you all know, we have closed the community center, but we have not stopped our programs, especially those that caters to our seniors and youth, including their families. We are fortunate to have dedicated staff, board, and volunteers that make these programs happen. We admit that this is not an easy task, but we know that with due diligence, we can make it happen. We have been very creative in getting our programs going. For our seniors, we have been preparing hot meals and food pantry and making them available either by curbside pickup or home delivery, which we have arranged with Hide and Access for transport. We started with a few seniors availing this service, but now we are serving more than 200 seniors per day. Since social distancing was put in place, we have devised a plan on how to deliver our services, and most of it are online or other means that abide with the restriction imposed by the governor. Here are how we are making it happen. For the youth program, we have started online programs for the high school students. Staff are working on the curriculum for younger kids. They communicate with other youth members via social media and newsletters. In addition, we are investigating if our youth staff can help in making personal protective equipment, PPE, using our 3D printer or sewing cloth masks. The small amount that we can produce can go a long way to help the people who needs them. For our culture and arts, the Tagalog classes are available online. The FCS Kalahip choreographer had made videos available online on cultural activities and lessons, like the folk dancing and other Philippine traditions. For our health and fitness, we have plans of making Zumba videos that our members can view at home to keep up with their physical activities. For the Filipino Community Village, the construction has not stopped due to COVID-19, as the governor has deemed the construction of affordable housing an essential economic activity. Note that the speed of construction is not going at the rate that it should or could have been, because construction workers are still required to practice social distancing, use PPE, and strict personal hygiene to prevent the spread of the virus. The Filipino Community of Seattle, Beacon Development, and Marpac Constructions are making sure that all workers are healthy and safe while working. As you can see, work at the Filipino Community Center goes on unabated. Our staff, board, and volunteers are working selflessly to be able to serve the community we love. And we will exhaust all efforts to serve our members and non-members. In this period of need, I would like to make a promise that FCS will be with you in good times and bad. Before I close, I would like to express a profound gratitude to our wonderful, dedicated staff, board, and volunteers for all the excellent efforts they do. They are the engine that makes the FCS machine running. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To everyone, stay healthy and be safe. Stay home. Now, I would like to introduce our Innovation Learning Center and Youth Program Manager, Haya Munoz.
Hi everyone, my name is Haya Munoz, and I'm the Innovation Learning Center Youth Program Manager for the Filipino Community of Seattle. For our youth program, we focus on 3 areas. The first program is called Community and Me, which is a partnership with Dearborn Park International School. In this program, we focus on STEAM activities and leadership skill buildings for our youth. Our second program is a partnership with the Aki Kuros Middle School, where we work with a Filipino club and learning more about our culture and exploring our identities through activities and food. Our last program is our high school program, which is a youth-led program that the students work with us in developing a curriculum and activities that they are interested in. This program meets once a week, Fridays from 4 to 6 p.m. Pre-COVID, we meet here, but because of COVID, we meet now in Zoom for that session. For this summer, we'll be having a summer feed program for our students where they can get lunches as well as activity kits that focus on STEAM, leadership, and race and history awareness. For more information on all of our many activities that we are providing here at the center, please contact us through our website as well as our social media platforms. Thank you so much for listening and hope to see some of you folks in our program.
Siya ni Melver Gomez, the director of the film Iyalatu.
Si tatakderak ti sangwanan ti St. Augustine Church ti Ilini Apaway. This has become one of the most visited churches in Luzon, a national cultural treasure and a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Makipagkanta kayo kada kami.
Makipagkararag kayo kada kami.
Ket Iyalatu tayo ti nainsigudan akan nawidan tayo kada kitag tutupitan apanawen.
Proudly from Paway, Ilocos Norte, our film Iyalatu or to Transfer
It's a documentary featuring an old oral tradition
of songs and prayers for the dead.
The film portrays an almost dying tradition and the struggles of these Manglalos in passing it to the future generation.
Ave Maria, napugati grasya, ni Apo Diyos sa lakan kasika, tining kasatan ka rin kiyami, nababay ning kasatan ka ni Tibodichan, manikisan sa Maria, ngayon natin ka, Tipurgatorio, Adayo, na yamay pada, dagiti tulog kita, dagiti ringat ingat sa em, dagiti ang timasaga.
Siya ni Benny, nga asawa dito yung Manglualwalo, ididamo nga ay banda nga Manglualo, kinuyukuyuk kumot nga nagsakripisyo. Nga mididamo ko sangkong umawat, na midiagbaybayag nga Manglulwalo nga ito ti mga yayab, inanusak ti nagsakripisyo nga nang kuyukin ko na kamaawat akon. Tiga po na tayo siya, isong arod, ti tradisyon. Ti mininakay tayo nga kailangan nga malaluan ti siyang aldaw.
Belo nga puraw. Idi nga 1993. Bado nga puraw. Idi nga 1993. Paldaken blouse. Belo pay nga puraw. 1993 apo dagitoy nga kay papanan na isimsimbolo na wenno kay papanan na iti puraw nga arwaten wenno bado panagdaldalos nadalos nadalos nga nakem nadalos nga kapanunutan ken nadalos nga panagpuspuso. Adan to malalwan tayo naman ke ije to man sungada nan itun maminsan nga aldaw. Itun maminsan nga aldaw. Santuman adamal lagi pon. Ano sungadan to manang.
Kapag tulat ta mari ka ako. Pero may special.
Wow. Namtay ko na ka.
Kanang pagluganan tayo may nakadadayo kung may dagasin ka o mga lugam may.
Dorto latan ati kung kuna nga rod manang ngumno awan dorto dor. Por piera. Kadilakan. Kalangan kadilakan tulatan. Magmagnatay to. Magmagnatay to amin nun.
Makapagnatay mo amin. Wamot nga no dayjay to nga kapudo na ko. Oh, wow. No, ada may mga alakanyak ako umayak mo.
Ada mga
Wala mo nga raw. Ni umay dak tungor dalaon mo yururay kayo. Wow.
Puso nga rumayray-ray, taasing ari agsarday. Puso
kaputing kaipaay.
Cebu's an amazing story.
A fallen Catholic priest, Filipino American returning to the Philippines, Cebu, that's the name.
He is tested and challenged throughout the film, and he really undergoes a journey of self-discovery.
Because I always thought that it would be a better film than a novel, I entered the script into the Beverly Hills Film Festival, and it was selected as a finalist. In the Philippines, Catholicism is taken much more seriously. He says, this isn't Catholicism, this is blasphemy.
Hello, my name is Mig Ayesa, and I'm slated to be the composer.
I can't know anything that you put around my body. I just gotta know to be reminding of the story. There's nowhere to hide, nowhere to hide from what I see. I just can't abide. Do everything you think for, but I am
I think Cebu would make an incredible film. In terms of plot, it's extremely rich and dynamic. Suspense, romance, action, an educational experience. Marcos regime, not a lot of people know what went on during those days.
It's set in a period which can lend itself to a whole different world of musical possibilities. I think it's going to be an amazing film, and with your help, we can make this film come to fruition.
Hi Pagdiriwang, this is Alfred Escorpizo and I am this year's Sayaw coordinator. Sayaw Filipino Folk Dance Troupe is a student-based performing arts dance troupe of the Filipino American Student Association at the University of Washington. Taking the name from a Filipino word meaning dance, Sayaw shares and celebrates the stories of the rich heritage and culture of the Philippines through the artistic expression of dance, while striving to give Filipino Americans the opportunity to gain knowledge and awareness of their cultural heritage. Sayaw has also grown into a great community resource to learn and appreciate traditional Filipino culture, art, folklore, and history. Singkil is a courtship dance from the Lanao province, shown as a celebratory dance ritual or festive events, performed by a woman of royal blood with the intent of looking for their suitor in hopes of a future marriage in return. Singkil means to entangle the feet with disturbing objects like vines or anything in your path, deriving its name from the Darangin tale, the origin of the Maranao people's culture. We're always grateful to perform for Pagdiriwang year after year, and we can't wait for the moment that we are allowed to be together in person again. For now, please enjoy this previous performance from Fasa de Sayudad's annual cultural flagship event, Filipino Night 2019. It's an annual event hosted by our cultural chair to highlight the history or everyday lives of Filipino and Filipino American experience through a performance or a live play. Thank you again for letting Sayaw Filipino Folk Dance Troupe be a part of this festival, as we always enjoy taking part of this annual tradition of celebration. With this year's theme of Pagsibol Balik Saya Pilipinas, we hope that this performance has given you a bit of joy as we will bounce back from this current situation and gather once again, happily celebrating our rich culture and tradition.
Araw, Naimbaga Bigat. My name is Lane Wilkin, and I want to thank you all for bringing me back to Pagdiriwang. It is with humility and a small amount of trepidation that I speak to you today about the tattooing of the Kalinga people. And while many people consider me an expert on the subject, I want to state that the true experts of Batok, of the Kalinga people, are the Kalinga people themselves, especially Apo Huangod Ogay. With that, I'll be doing something a little bit different from my usual presentations and relate portions of an article that I wrote for the Kalinga Association of North America a few years ago, as well as show some video footage of a short documentary I've never published. I hope that the words and images we share together today will further your understanding of this practice and perhaps give you an idea of what was once found anciently throughout our entire archipelago. So with that, let's begin. Decades ago, before it became popular, I was enamored by the renaissance of Polynesian tattooing. Those geometric designs in the skin seemed to radiate so much power and confidence in those Polynesians who wore them. Back then, in my early 20s, I would truly want to be marked with similar tools and symbols of cultural pride and dignity, but at the same time, I did not want to appropriate something that was not mine to wear. I remember asking my mother if Filipinos ever tattooed, and after a long sigh and suspicious questioning why I was asking about tattoos, she replied, "Only the Igorots tattoo." I reminded her, "Aren't we part Igorot?" She dismissed my reminder, but this experience stimulated my curiosity. This began a journey of discovery to recover as much of the tattooing knowledge of the Philippines as possible. I found that prior to renaming the islands after the monarch of Spain, the Spaniards originally called our islands Las Islas de los Pintados, or the islands of the painted or tattooed ones. After more than 30 years of research, authoring 2 books on the subject and several articles, I learned how to make the traditional tattoo implements, the kisi, lupfan, kikisi, etc., and have been asked to use them to bestow batok on Kalinga, Cordilleran, and lowlanders alike. Despite all my efforts to educate others, I found that most people from the Philippines are ignorant of the legacy of tattooing that was once abundant in our islands. It is no wonder that, since it was nearly extinct everywhere, sometimes for centuries, that it has been forgotten. One of the last bastions of preservation of cultural tattooing in the Philippines has been the people of Kalinga. However, there too the practice of batok is in danger of being lost by the very people who have maintained their tattooing traditions even up until the present time. In tattooing circles, many people have heard of the oldest tattoo practitioner of the Philippines, the reportedly 100-plus-year-old Apo Huangod Ogday of Buscalan. I visited her in 2010 with my mentor, my brother, and my friend to receive batok at her hands. We did not ask for batok, but she asked me if I wanted to receive a tattoo, to which I replied, "On," or yes. We were required to provide a pig as well as money for the batok, a price that Huang Od set. It was a fairly large amount of money, but fitting for the mark that in the past denoted so much wealth and prestige. As Huang Od prepared to tattoo me, several of the old women of the village teased me about how bad it was going to hurt. I laughed along with them, but it wasn't my first rodeo. I sat on the small wooden block and Huang Od pushed a fresh citrus thorn into her tool. She smeared the paste of soot and water on the thorn and began tapping the design into the skin of my shoulder. I did not know what she was tattooing on me. I was submissive to her expertise and what was appropriate for her to gift me. Hwang Od chose the Ili Iliab since I was not a headhunter and placed it on my shoulder, not my chest. The pain was not that bad. Tattoos from the machine hurt a lot more. Hwang Od's skill was incredible, each tat finding its mark, even when obscured by the ink. After about 25 minutes, the design was finished. A pig was killed and Hwang Od read the entrails. Seeing the good omen, she smiled and told us that one day we would return to Buskalan. Then the meat was divided up and shared among the community. I sensed that what I had experienced was a small abbreviation of the rituals of the past. Still, I treasured the experience. We spent the next few days with Hwang Od, staying in her own home. At the time, we were the only visitors in Buskalan. With that, I'd like to share a little bit of the video footage from the documentary I never published. So we wait. Well, part of the adventure, huh?
Part and parcel.
Shubet.
Sit down. Bagus na, pipita, sarap pang
Mapipita betul perguruan. Wah. Madalam ni. Yun.
Saan naman ko kwato kos? Tatawagin natin sa Joro. Abi na mo si Sarah Mamon. Mamon, abi na mo si Sarah Mamon.
She doesn't have
Mansi ka bangkay.
I think all these guys, I think anybody. Tell her she has her choice of all the men.
Mampili Losan. Upat. Okay, lapong dyan Losan. Mampili Single.
Kawan.
Mampili
Kamasok na badan. Sa damaruho halasa.
Mampili ko to, maticha.
Oh, chokay lu kata siya.
Would you like to get the two by her?
Dito ba siya?
On.
Oh. Yeah?
Sorry.
Nan. Oh, kuha ng camera sa mo, sir. Ay, bang ka porcelas na. Patong mo ka.
That area is always hard. It's hard even for Dahon. Never been used before.
Apo, iguana patik na. It's different, she said. Iguana, achita na usar.
Palisan kayo ba kung nataya? Isunuga na ugarara. Kung nataya, usiya usisaya nan. Natjay dubhan. Kan may kuwang kayo ba ay muhalu salin.
Okay, would you like to go to her?
At siya kumangwatan may kakamu. Natamatso at so asiya.
Kunana, gaputa, dahil tayo siya pinakamuti may live naman yun.
Yeah, no, she's asking. Since you give her this DC and he only also gives DC, she's asking what she can also give you in return. What does he ask? Okay.
Since this video, things are different. Recognition of Huang Od's name and work as a Mamba Batok has spread throughout the world. In the past few years, the media has produced several documentaries, magazine articles, and blogs promoting Huang Od, often erroneously proclaiming her as the last Mamba Batok, although there is even another Mamba Batok right in her village, Karina Suyam. But the media engine storm has drawn hordes of visitors from all over the world to visit remote Buskulan and get a tattoo from the supposedly last practitioner of Batok. With the influx of all these visitors, Prestige and money have flowed into Buscalan, but it has been a mixed blessing. So many tourists visit that Huang Od cannot accommodate them all, so Huang Od's nieces have begun tattooing full-time. Now Huang Od starts tattooing at sunrise until fatigue prevents her from continuing. It is not uncommon for literally hundreds of visitors to visit the little village in a week. Most of these visitors are Filipino tourists from other parts of the Philippines. Western expectations of tattoo art are imposed on the Mama Batok and her nieces. None of the taboos are observed by the tourists. No songs or ulalim is sung. There's no feasting afterwards. Middlemen or guides haggle for the lowest price and charge a standard fee for a tattoo instead of letting the Mama Batok choose her price for her prestigious marks. Rarely do people allow Huang Od to choose what is correct for them to receive from her hand. Instead, plywood boards with various tattoo designs drawn on them act as tattoo flash for tourists to choose from. Many of those drawn designs are taken from my book, Filipino Tattoos Ancient to Modern. Some of these symbols are taken out of cultural context and are tattoos from other parts of the Philippines, the Pacific, that I use in comparison in my book. Still yet, there are designs that are modern fabrications of neo-tribal designs taken from the internet. No thorough explanation is given to the tourists about these designs. I have met several people stating that they got this authentic Kalinga tattoo from Buscalan, and what they actually have is an Ifugao design, or Samoan tattoo symbol. There have even been a few times that people have been given the incorrect explanations for actual Kalinga motifs. When I visited Buscalan, Apo Huang Od stated that she feared that her knowledge would die with her. If indeed she is the last practicing Mamba Batok at 100 years plus of age, the practice of Batok definitely lies critically endangered. Unless efforts are taken to preserve this knowledge, the full understanding of Batok is doomed to plummet off the precipice into cultural extinction. So what must be done to save this practice? Some people have argued that because Kayao, headhunting is no longer practiced, that tattooing should cease to exist. But in my limited understanding of Batok, I have found that not all Kalinga tattooing is understood within the context of headhunting. Each individual design bears a wealth of cultural knowledge, history, and wisdom. The Norafarafat design marks a healer and references a specific healing modality performed by the Manjawak. The Tabad Fuad symbolizes an omen animal that provides spiritual knowledge. It even seems to allude to the values of Kalinga people as well as spiritual beliefs. And these are just brief descriptions of two designs that are just part of so many more. I've done my best to understand the culture of the Kalinga people, and even though my ancestors come in part from the Cordillera, I am not Kalinga, and there are nuances of that culture that I may never understand as an outsider. Based on the carbon dating of tattoo tools discovered in burial caves in the Cagayan Valley region, it is estimated that tattooing existed in the Philippines for at least 4,000 years. There is literally thousands of years of history in these marks. The Kalinga culture has survived Spanish conquistadors, American soldiers, Japanese invaders, but will that legacy of thousands of years of culture and knowledge illustrated in Batok be lost in your generation? To my Kalinga cousins, I say, this ultimately is your practice to preserve and reclaim. I pray that it lives on for many countless generations to come. Agyamanakkunay kayo for including me in Pagdiriwang 2021. Please be healthy, safe, and well.
Hello everyone, thanks for having me and being a part of Pagdiriwang or annual Pagdiriwang Festival. And my name is Jerome Bulisay and I'm a proud member of Alpha Phi Omega, Epsilon Omicron chapter. I am currently based here in Orange County, California. Just a little bit background, I am a full-time chef and a part-time musician. And I'm also a part owner of Ube Pastries, which is located here in Laguna Hills. And I'm also a partner of a 4-leap payment solution. If you have any problems with card payments, we can provide a service for you. If you want to check out my music, please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is @HeroMusic. And if you want to check out my pastry bakery shop, it's a Ube Bakery on Instagram. We have a lovely ube pandesal and a lot of stuffs that made with ube. And once again, happy anniversary, or let's say hello with Pagdiriwang Festival 2021. I hope everything will get back into normal soon, and just be safe, and thank you.
See the crystal raindrop fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind. And I think of you sometimes, wanna spend my time with you. Just the two of us, we can make it if we try. Just the two of us, just the two of us, just the two of us, building castles in the sky. Just the two of us, you and I. We look for love, no time for fears, wasted water, all that is. Don't make no flower grows. Good things might come to those who wait, not for those who wait too late. Gotta go for all we know. Just the two of us, we can make it if we try. Just the two of us, just the two of us, just the two of us, building castles in the sky. Just the two of us, you and I. I hear the crystal raindrop fall on the window, town to hall. Comes the morning dew, darling, when the morning comes and I see the morning sun, I wanna be the one with you. Just the two of us, we can make it if we try. Just the two of us, just the two of us, just the two of us, building castles in the sky. Just the two of us, you and I. Matanda na, sana'y di tayo magbago. Kailanman, nasan man, ito ang pangarap ko. Makuha mo pa kayang ako'y hagan at yakapin. Sa pagtanda natin, tatanong lang sa'yo, ako pa kaya'y ibigin mo? Kahit maputi na ang buhok ko. Pagdating ng araw, ang iyong buhok ay puputi na rin.
sabay tayong mangangarap ng nakaraan natin. Ang nakalipas ay babalik natin. Ipapaalala ko sa'yo ang ating pangako na ang pag-ibig ko'y laging sa'yo. Kahit maputi na ang buhok ko, la 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 la. At ang nakalipas ay babalik natin. Ipapaalala ko sa'yo ang ating pangako na ang pag-ibig ko'y laging sa'yo. Kahit maputi, kahit maputi, kahit maputi,